Hello beautiful souls and welcome to my channel. My name is Sanja and today we're going to discuss my first manifestation. Yes, well, conscious manifestation because we're manifesting all the time. So my first ever, I didn't even know that we were creators and that we can consciously manifest things until I saw The Secret. Now even then I didn't really know much about it, but at least I got that like tip of the iceberg knowledge about it. And this is one of the things that maybe is gonna work for you the best. This is why I'm sharing this, because usually when people hear about things that we can manifest and that we can create anything that we want, the first is like, oh, I want $1 million, or I want a house on the beach, or something that is over the top, that it's too high from where they currently are. And I don't know, after a few weeks they're like, oh, this doesn't work, forget about it. But what they said in The Secret and what I've tried and what it works, and it's a bit silly, but I tried it anyway, they tried with something small. Now they say with a cup of coffee. Now when I started, when I saw The Secret, I was in high school, and I didn't even drink much coffee back then. So, but my all-time favorite was ice cream. Now my mom and myself would eat, my mom and I don't know if my mom and myself is right anyway, but we would take like family size ice cream, and we would eat it, I think, almost every single day. And in one moment my mom said, even during the winter, it doesn't matter whether it was summer or winter, ice cream is still ice cream, we would love it, we would just eat it. And one day I was so looking forward to it, and she said, you know what, let's keep a day, because we are eating it so much, so it's maybe we should skip a day. I'm like, okay, it's fine, you're right, we've been eating it too much, it's fine. Then I went into my room, and then I actually remembered start with something small. And I'm like, how about my mum calling me back and says, go grab ice cream? It didn't take like half of a minute. I just thought of that. My mum calls me. I get out of my room, and my mum is like, go get some ice cream. I'm like, this stuff works. So that's my first manifestation. The reason why I'm telling you this is start with something small, especially if you're new, especially if you're not even believing this, maybe if you want to test it, if you want to practice it, even if you do believe it but you don't know where to start, how to start with something small. So that can be someone you haven't seen in a long time. Try to visualize hearing from them or seeing them, or maybe someone you haven't heard from a long time, you don't know anything about that person. I've tried it so many times in the last few years. Like, I wouldn't know anything about a certain person, and then after a while it was there, or here, or another person I didn't know anything, and then it's there. And if they aren't on Facebook profiles, if they don't have any social network anyway, so but I would somehow always find out about them, that they're well and what they've been going up to. Someone I actually knew, like, I don't know, 10 years ago, and then someone asked me, do you know anything about them? No. But then I would do that, or even if I wouldn't even, but if someone would just mention that person. That happened recently. My mum actually mentioned one specific person, and they're not on any social networks, nowhere. They're nowhere to be found. You can't type any name or anything in them. And in like, I don't know, day before yesterday, they came up in this picture with someone else who actually has Facebook profile, and I'm like, they're there. My mum just talked about that person, like, I don't know, a week ago or something. So it does work. The best thing is to manifest consciously in the beginning. If you're not that super high vibration, and you don't really, even maybe you're not sure what you're doing, start with something small. The good thing about this, people are like, where is my manifestation? Why isn't it coming right away? Why isn't, as soon as I say it, as soon as I visualize it, as soon as it can happen. But I think the best thing is, because we have so many low vibration thoughts, we have so many things that we think about that we don't really want. And the best thing about it is when we have those thoughts in our heads, that they don't manifest, because it does take time for certain things, and it's good that it takes time. It's not always the ending, it's the journey, it's the where it leads to it. And I love when Abraham says that the journey bit, why is it so important, and the metaphor behind it. They're like, imagine you want to go on traveling somewhere, and you're scheduling where you're going to go from this place to the other, what you're going to do, whether you're going to go mountains or you're going to go to the sea, you're going to be swimming or hiking, and then in the end, whatever you do, everything that you do, you come back home. Well, if your end goal and where your starting goal is actually the same, well, maybe we can just skip the traveling bit and we're right where we want to be in the end. So it's not the end, it's the journey, it's the discovery, it's the knowing yourself as well, being aware of yourself, being aware of everywhere you are, being grateful, working on yourself, the experience of it, everything that together, that's what matters. And that's what it's all about. So it is about journey, it is about discovering and conscious manifesting. Again, start with something small. Now, there are some people that start with something big, but they're really focused on it. So every single day, again, I think his name is Jack in The Secret as well, said that his mentor told him, do something that it's gonna blow your mind if you are able to achieve that. So he put $100,000 that he's earning per year. He put it on a note. He drew on a note, put it on the ceiling, and every time that he would wake up, he would see $100,000. He would visualize himself how he would behave having those $100,000, and he would actually send that vibration, and then he would go back to his everything that he was doing. And in the end, he didn't make 100,000, but he made 90 something thousand, which is again extraordinary, which happened to me. I'm gonna do like this. Which happened to me. So I, back then when I discovered, oh, this actually works, I put on a note 1,000 euros and I put it in my wallet. So every time I would open a wallet, I would see that. It would be on a clear paper. But I would visualize in that moment, like even for briefly, even for 5 seconds, but I would try to feel that feeling of having them and what it would be like, what would I do, everything with it. And I didn't get 1,000, but I got 700, which back then, with someone who wasn't working, was in high school, I wasn't, it was nowhere, let's say, possible for that to happen. I was excited and I was like, this stuff works, but I stopped using it. Now I went to other mental things and other things that I just, and I think that's also important. If you're trying to do, they say if you wish it strong enough, you'll achieve it. So if you don't, do something in the end or achieve something, it's because you didn't want it strongly enough. That's not true. So two things. If you wish it and you're like, oh, I'm wishing it, I want 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 it, you're just affirming that you don't have it. So be careful how you pay attention to your emotions, pay attention to how you feel. Because if you're like, oh, I want it, oh, I want it so badly, I badly want it, you actually are affirming it that you don't have it. You're strongly affirming it that you in the end will never get it. That doesn't need to happen, but again, it depends on how you feel it. If you're like, oh, I want it, oh, I'm gonna get it, that's totally different. So that's one thing. But second thing, for me, what I've realized in the past 10 years is, and even longer, but 10 years and plus on my own, is that you have to clear all this rubbish in your head. And it's really hard. I was depressed at the time. I was depressed for many years. I didn't seek for help, which I should have. I didn't want to bother anyone. And if anything, bother someone. It's not bothering, it's helping yourself. You help others, you heal, you do things better for yourself, for your family, for everyone. So try to heal. For me, I did it on my own, and it took a while, but after I wasn't depressed anymore, everything was so clear. Like, I can't explain to you. When I was depressed, everything was like foggy, and everywhere I would look, it would be foggy. It was like I was daydreaming, but I was awake. It was really bizarre the way I would feel. I never had any maybe suicidal thoughts, nothing that type, but everything was so weird. I honestly can't explain it. If you would open a book, everything would be foggy, and everything would be, I would read the page 100 times. It wouldn't get into my head, nothing. I wouldn't even know what I read, and I would read it 100 times. I still wouldn't know. It would still be on the page one. I would go outside, look at the trees, look at everything, and at the time that was my normal state. That was what I knew. I didn't even realize what I was going through until I finished everything. I mean, and now when I see the book, when I see the trees, when I see it, so I'm awake, I'm here, I'm alert, I'm present, I can see. But back then I was trying so hard to see, I couldn't. I was lost. I was basically lost. So if you're trying to manifest something, and whatever that may be, love of your life, better life, happier life, even again, start with something small. Happier life starts with happier you, happier decisions, just decide to be happy. But behind it is trying to clear that rubbish out and going maybe even back to what caused it. Try to forgive if you need to forgive. I have videos how to forgive, I have everything, and I'll link that underneath if you want it. You have meditations online, so much on YouTube, guided meditations, how to forgive someone. You have so many things. And you have EFT, I talk about it. You have so many tools that can help you out that I didn't have. I mean, 10 years ago, you didn't have YouTube. I don't know that YouTube existed, at least. I mean, 15 years ago, we had internet that would go brr, brr, brr. If anyone is older, they will know exactly what I'm talking about. So no YouTube. Facebook, I think, just started, but there wasn't any this sort. I didn't have available to me these types of books that we have nowadays. I mean, this is insane how amazing this is if you know how to use it, if you are using it, if you are, at least trying to do it. There's so many other people's stories as well that you can find on YouTube, how they overcome what they did. When you are happier, you're attracting and manifesting so much faster. Your vision is so much clearer. You know what you're doing. You're better at doing it. You're doing it so much, again, faster. It's insane. And I think that's the main thing behind it, not just manifesting material things, but look inside, manifest happier life, manifest, I don't know, better weather, manifest whatever. I mean, it's such a heat wave now. I'm loving it. I'm one of the type of person that adores summer, and when summer is ending, I'm not that type of a person who's like, oh, I couldn't wait for summer to be over. No, I want summer all the time. I love boiling. I love this feeling of warm and heat and sun and everything. So yeah, you can probably see that everything is melting. I don't care, I just don't care. But I love it. I go outside, I go with my daughter, she plays in the grass, she touches the, leaves. She's really, just, I do get around when it's raining and stuff, but it's a bit harder to clean everything. I'm that mom that allows her child to go in the mud and play with mud. But then when she bangs it on her face, I'm like, no. I guess I'm so going off the topic, but honestly, try to be better yourself. Try to be better yourself. It doesn't mean anything. Try to be better. Try to manifest better things. Try to just enjoy life. If you're not there, I totally understand. I wasn't there my entire life. I was in one time so depressed, without electricity, without water, without place where to stay, without anything. And to be where I am today now, that I don't have even have to think about whether I'm gonna have food because we have food, whether I'm gonna be cold because, you know, if the weather gets worse, we have blankets, I can turn the heating up. It's so gives you such a different perspective. But that was just a symptom. That wasn't the reason why I was depressed. Depression started when, let's say, I had all those things, and I did, and then it just went all the way down. You don't need to go down. You can be inspired, you can be motivated, you can listen to my videos, anyone else's videos, use the methods. Don't just watch these things, use the methods, and then build yourself up. You have all the tools that you need on these platforms. It's honestly mind-blowing. Now, what I've listened to Dr. Joe Dispenza's interview with someone, I forgot what that person was, but he actually said something that I haven't heard before, and maybe it wasn't on the vibrational level to hear it or read it in his books. So he said, everyone is reacting. Okay, when something happens, whether it's in traffic, whether it's our loved ones, everyone reacts. But those chemicals in the brain that makes you react to the way that you would, which is completely natural, last from 90 seconds up to 2 minutes. And he says everything after that, you're faking it. And that was so mind-blowing to me. So if you get upset at someone, let's say someone just went on your nerve, or you were building up prior to that, or whatever happens, and you snap or you got sad, whatever that may be, after 2 minutes, you're faking it. What that means is that you're replaying that image in your head over and over and over again, because now the chemicals are going down. You're gonna start to feel better, but your body's like, no, 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 no. We want more of this. I want to be angry. I want to be upset. Now I started. No, it's not gonna end. Ego comes in. No, no, no. Now I'm gonna be upset at you. You did this, you did that. And you're actually faking it. So you're doing that to yourself. You are making yourself more miserable, more angry, more depressed, more sad. Everything that it is after that trigger, after 2 minutes, you are consciously or subconsciously doing it to yourself, which is such amazing information. Because if you know this, then after, let's say, 90 seconds, 2 minutes, then you can be, now the chemicals are going. Now I'm actually supposed to be feeling better. If I'm still being upset, let's explore this. Let's become aware of this. Let's go back. Let's see how I can make this work. Let's watch comedies. Let's put this video. Let's put good music. Let's, be everything that you can to be happy, and to change your thoughts about that specific situation, because you want to change. Because if you keep focusing on that, then you're going to create more of that. It's insane. Even from scientific level nowadays, you have all the information that you need, all the information from genetics, how it affects us. It's not like before that, genes will do this to us. It's like 95% is that what we can change, and what we can, the environment and everyone, what we can actually, we're doing things to ourselves, which is insane. So people aren't doing things to us. If they are, we are allowing it. Wow. I'm sorry. I'm just mind blown by all of this information that we have. And if you were someone who were always looking for this type of things, but you couldn't find it anywhere, and you couldn't even find a person that agrees with you, that would always look at you like you're crazy and not normal and weird, and which I am, but not they would look at me in a bad way. I look at it now as a good way, a good thing. But back then it was so lonely, not having anyone who is searching for the same thing. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. For instance, religion, God, that he's all this, loving and loves us unconditionally, but you do something wrong and you go to hell. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. How can someone love you unconditionally and send you to an eternity of hell? Like that, for me, that didn't work. For some people, it does serve them. It does make their lives better, because maybe something that would harm them, they wouldn't do out of fear because of that. But for me, that never made sense, ever. And that's why for a long time, I said that I don't believe in God, just because of that. Just because if the God is the God that sends us to hell, I'm not believing in that. Now, I do believe in my definition of it. Unconditional love should be like the shortest form of explanation of what God is, not some bearded guy who's looking over us and is going to send us to hell if we do something that is, I don't know. I mean, I went in such a different direction, but after experiencing all of this, after experiencing love, after experiencing clarity, after experiencing every, well-being, I honestly don't believe in eternity of hell, and that's what serves me, and that's what I'm gonna continue believing it. I've never believed in it anyway, so I never believed that. Again, that didn't make any sense to me. I was like, what? No, we have all these trees, we have all these flowers, we have all these animals, and this beauty. How can you go from that to like, no, drop, you did one thing wrong, done. So anyway, raise your vibrations. High vibrations, the better you feel. All happy, joy, love, that's what's there. Worthiness, that's the highest you can be. Explore that, play with it, enjoy life. That's what matters. Life doesn't happen to you, life happens for you, circumstances for you, and just try to milk it, just try to take out of it as much as that you can, try to learn from it, and it's okay if it takes time for you to be okay. I'll repeat that, it's okay if it takes time for you to be okay. So don't push yourself that you have to do it in a day, that you have to do it in 2 weeks. Just play with it. Play with it, see where it takes you. Aha, it takes me there. Okay, can I learn something from this? Can I go inside? Again, use the tools. Use meditation. Use EFT. Use positive affirmations. You have Louise Hay's website where you have affirmations for, I think, anything that you need, basically. I'll link that underneath. Use all the tools. Be kind to yourself. Look after yourself. Make your cup full, and everything that runs over it, that's for other people. But you need to make your cup full. This is from the interview from, I never know how to pronounce her name, Elina something. And I love how she said, if, maybe I've mentioned this before, I don't care, someone is maybe gonna hear this for the first time. If someone takes from you what you need and they don't even know it, you're making them a thief. So they are taking from you something. That's what, people who sacrifice themselves for someone else do. You give someone what you need and they take it from you. You're making that person a thief and they don't even know it. When I heard that, I was like, wow. Wow. How amazing is that? You need to make your cup full, and everything that runs over it, that's for everyone else. I'll link that interview as well down below, because it's like 3.5 minutes or something, but it's really, really amazing. So that's it. That's my first conscious manifestation video. Start with something small, unless you want something big, but really focus on it, really pay attention, explore yourself, be on high vibrations, and enjoy this life and be happy. Love you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.